Hello, everybody. I hope you are doing well. And today I just want to share and encourage those who are facing a big or difficult decision in their life. And not only will this impact your life, but it could impact your family's lives and other people's lives. And so it's too big of a decision to not go in accordance with God's will. And you're trying to figure out if it is God's will. And I myself am going through a huge decision in my life right now, which is why I want to share this encouragement to you because I have peace and I have joy in the process. And initially, I was asking God for an immediate answer. Just show me, Lord, yes or no. And I wanted the answer right then and there, but it didn't come. And so I started praying more. I started seeking the Lord in just quiet prayer time and reading His Word and just meditating on God, on just how awesome He is and how sovereign He is, how He loves me. And I came to understand much better on how to hear from God. And so I want to share this with you. And it's through two verses or two passages I want to share. And the first is Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 through 6. And the second is Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. As I was praying, these passages kept coming to my mind and they made sense together. And so when you have a very big decision and you need to be in accordance with God in making your decision, Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 and 6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your path straight." And Matthew chapter 6, verse 33 is, "Seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these will be added unto you." These two promises God gives us to combine and give us a solid direction on what to do. And so here's this decision, and you're not sure what to do. The first thing you are to do is to trust in God with that decision. Is to trust in God in everything and know that He knows what is best for you. And second is to not lean on your own understanding. Apart from God, there is no wisdom in us. There is no discernment. It's all from God. And so there are all these obstacles and issues in your mind in the natural. What about my children? What about this, my wife, myself? What if this happens? What if that happens? All these what ifs. You don't trust yourself with them, but you trust in God. And what is your focus? Is to acknowledge Him in all your ways and to seek first His kingdom and His righteousness. This is the same thing. It's to put God first. It is to put His purposes and will above everything else. And I'm going to go beyond saying first. It's to put God's purposes, His will, above everything so much to the degree that there is no second or third place. It's just God's will in your life. That's it. His purposes is all encompassing. That's why you exist, to accomplish His good works, to fellowship with Him, for Him to live His life in and through you. And so as you seek Him and as you put Him in front of everything at all times, God promises us that then He will make our path straight. Then He will provide for all our needs. That is how we make our decisions. It's by focusing on God. As we focus on God, as we trust in Him with all our hearts and not lean on ourselves, it is dangerous to trust ourselves. We should never do that. You trust in God with all your heart and not trusting any other man or woman or yourself, and putting God first, everything, His purposes, then He will make your path straight and He will provide for your needs. And how this often looks is that a door will open, and that path that was cluttered with all these uncertainties or impossibilities, little by little, God will remove and make that path straight. And it will be obvious for you to go that way, and when God makes it obvious, and when He makes that path straight for you, it'll be clear. And not only that, you say, well, what about the needs of my children? What about this need and that need? God said, when you seek first my kingdom and my righteousness, all these needs will be given unto you. It will be provided. Just obey me, follow my path, follow my guidance. And then we'll be acting as sheep, as we are, the sheep to Jesus Christ. And he is our shepherd, and we could lie down in green pasture. We could find security in knowing that he is guiding us. And so after you've done this, in trusting in God, not yourself, and acknowledging him in all your ways and seeking first his kingdom and his righteousness, you need to wait on him to make that path clear. It's his timing, his method. And a lot of us want it now, and the impatience is just natural for many of us. Here we must exercise our patience and wait on him, knowing that he is choosing the right time and way for us. If you try to speed his timing up, it's going to be worse. If you try to do things in the flesh and force it to work, it will be worse. Focus on putting him first. Focus on trusting in God and not yourself, and he will do it all. He will make that decision clear. He doesn't want us to be in confusion. He wants to show us his will. He wants us to accomplish his will. And some of you might even be saying, okay, if I do this, how is that accomplishing his will? What is his will for my life? But that's really not the question you should ask. You should really have no question in regards to what is God's will for my life when you look at the overall big picture. Just the fact that you know that he has a purpose is enough. And you're asking him to include you in that purpose of his. For you to be a living sacrifice, a vessel. And just the fact that you know that he has a will and purpose of his own is enough for you. And when he says, go this way, go that way. It's for your best. And say, thank you, Lord, for including me in your will and purpose. Let your will be done, none of mine. Let there be no desires of my own, but let your desires be my will, and walk in oneness with him as he makes every path straight as you trust in him and put him above all things. That's how we can have peace in making these big and difficult decisions in our lives. And I'm so grateful to have the Lord being my shepherd, and I hope you can be too, and find peace in that. And you don't have to struggle and wrestle and shout at God or shout at people. Be at peace, trusting in the Lord with all your heart, and knowing that he will make a way for you. So put him first above everything else. God bless you.